Weather has been all over the road today. Some dense fog in some locations this morning, bright sunshine for others. And now we're watching a few showers starting to move into the region. A couple of thunderstorms already fired up as well. Live camera view coming in from Benton right now. We see the mixture of blue skies and clouds on the increase. But as we go to the Doppler radar view, you can see the rain moving in and once again moving in backwards. Coming in from the southeast, will continue to move to the northwest. Seeing quite a bit of activity right now around Murray there in Callaway County. Also have one stronger storm showing up moving through Dunkling County right on the northern end. Rain moving away from Malden, but you can see right on top of Clarkton quite a bit of lightning right now. And in southern Illinois, a couple of little showers just getting started that will likely continue to grow, stretching from looks like near Dahlgren to Harrisburg, also from Goreville to just south of Marion. Forecast maps will show this activity kind of off and on as we move through the overnight. We might see a lull around midnight and then see another big chance roll through early tomorrow morning, a lull around midday tomorrow, maybe another round tomorrow. Just unsettled weather going to bring showers throughout the region. We'll take a closer look at that and talk about totals in the forecast. It's all coming your way in just a bit.
A Harrisburg man will spend 50 years in prison. 20-year-old Alante Beecham is found guilty of attempted murder. Police say Beecham shot at two people in a road rage incident last February. He has to serve 85% of his sentence in the Illinois Department of Corrections. Kyle Rittenhouse had a final hearing before his trial next month. He's accused of shooting three people during a 2020 protest in Wisconsin. Two of those people died. Rittenhouse is charged with murder. His attorney says he acted in self-defense. They say the three people attacked him. Rittenhouse was 17 when he left his home in Antioch, Illinois to go to that protest in Kenosha. The remains of a World War II veteran will return home to Illinois. Air Force Sergeant Francis WIEMERSLAGE was part of a bombing squadron flying over Germany during the war. Enemy fighters shot down the bomber between Berlin and Leipzig. WIEMERSLAGE was the only crew member not accounted for after the war. Well, with the help of German officials, his remains were found and identified in 2019. He was 20 years old and a resident of River Grove.
Now to the latest on our nation's battle with COVID-19. More people could soon have access to booster shots. Johnson & Johnson is asking the FDA for emergency authorization for its booster, and children between the ages of 5 and 11 could soon have protection as well. Health officials are currently reviewing Pfizer's clinical trial results for that age group. The White House says at least 76% of the eligible population has received at least one dose of the vaccine. Federal health officials are stressing the importance for protection ahead of the holidays.
I would encourage every parent that we've put in a lot of effort to make sure that these vaccines are safe and effective for children. And so when they're authorized, please go out and get it.
The best way to assure that we'll be in good shape as we get into the winter would be to get more and more people vaccinated.
The CDC recommends not traveling for the holidays unless you are vaccinated. Officials say trick-or-treating is a safe activity this year, but recommend you practice proper social distancing. Friends and family are remembering a local teacher tonight who died after a battle with COVID-19. Chris Rose was a certified welding inspector and educator and taught for Callaway County schools for more than 10 years. School officials say counselors will be available for students and staff when they return to school next Monday. Mr. Rose was 50 years old.
Researchers say COVID vaccines saved thousands of elderly people's lives. That's according to a new study released today. It says vaccinations are linked to a reduction in about 39,000 deaths over a 5-month period. Researchers also say vaccines prevented about 265,000 new COVID cases. They estimate that prevented more than 100,000 additional hospitalizations in the U.S. Now, seniors are the most vaccinated demographic in America. More than 94% of them have at least one dose. Airlines say they're dealing with more unruly passengers again. Reports of issues this week are at their highest in almost 2 months. 72% of disruptions were over mask mandates on airplanes. Airlines say almost 5,000 cases have been reported this year. You can get on Facebook now, but you probably couldn't yesterday during their biggest outage ever.
And at the same time, a former employee is going public about Facebook practices. She says the company is aware of how users are drawn into anger and misinformation on his platform. ABC's Rena Roy has the story.
All eyes on the Facebook whistleblower Tuesday.
I used to work at Facebook.
Former product manager Frances Haugen blasting the social media giant in her testimony before Congress.
The choices being made inside of Facebook are disastrous for our children, for our public safety, for our privacy, and for our democracy. And that is why we must demand Facebook make changes.
Haugen claims the company put profits before public good, purposely sowing division to keep users engaged.
They want you to believe that this is just part of the deal. I am here today to tell you that's not true. These problems are solvable. I came forward at great personal risk because I believe we still have time to act. But we must act now.
This as Facebook officials deal with the fallout of the nearly 6-hour blackout on the site and its sister pages, Instagram and WhatsApp Monday, creating widespread frenzy across the globe. Roughly 3.5 billion users unable to access their accounts.
To have every service that they operate be inaccessible for this amount of time is this is a catastrophic outage.
Employees told ABC News the company's internal email was also down. Facebook saying we believe the root cause of this outage was a faulty configuration change. We also have no evidence that user data was compromised as a result of this downtime. We apologize to all those affected.
Outages for companies like these do not happen that often, and certainly not for this duration.
And back to that whistleblower, Facebook has released a statement in response to her allegations, saying in part to suggest we encourage bad content and do nothing is just not true, adding that they're making significant improvements to tackle the spread of misinformation. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
A popular local Halloween attraction is getting an expansion this year. Formerly known as the Sinister House, Sinister Acres Haunted Attractions is adding a new level of scary for visitors. 2021 includes what fans have grown to love of the original haunted house, but now adds an entirely new outdoor trail. The owners were pretty tight-lipped on what to expect, but they did describe two major themes of the addition.
Tomahawk Trail. It's themed, starts out in a voodoo swamp, and we work our way into a hand-carved canyon that we've made. First guests travel through a swamp shack in the voodoo swamp and eventually make their way to a hand-carved canyon. I don't want to give away what all happens in there, but it's going to be pretty scary.
This is the 6th season for the DeSoto business. If you dare to enter, the grand opening is this Friday.
After you adopt or buy a pet, you need to make sure they're healthy, right? October is National Pet Wellness Month. It's a campaign to help our furry family members live long, healthy lives. Now, heartworms are common in our region. Adoption agencies say regular checkups and preventative medicine are important to protect your pet.
It's just super important to keep up with all that, just like you do with your kids. You want to keep them healthy so that they don't have to go through a lot of those, heartworms are just a horrible, horrible infestation for them to have to go through, and the treatment is terrible. And it's just so much easier to just give them a monthly pill and you're done.
Other tips to keep your pet healthy: proper nutrition, grooming, dental care, and exercise.